It's the time to get down.
How well they played unless they watched all the games. So all they do is take the final score and then cast their vote. So although you may not like the BCS
and the games they watch,
and wait a minute, this is
even though you don't know how much they watch.
Well, no. This is something that has been somewhat factual. They know that. They actually sit there and say, "Okay, you got to go watch. Here it is. Your team just played on Saturday." After that, between Sunday, which is 24 hours later, it's like that's almost how much time before the new rankings come? Maybe a day and a half. They're going to watch what? How many games of other teams that they're not playing fully to determine how well they play? Okay, so which one is more accurate? The coaches or the BCS formula?
Well, okay, unfortunately, I'll play the devil's advocate. That's only if you're assuming that accuracy is related to that parameter.
Well,
because maybe accuracy isn't. Because see, if you say,
right.
in other words, you just assume because you said accuracy.
Well,
accuracy means the ability to identify what is the top team again.
Well, accuracy is like you picking a good woman for you on your next date.
Well, because the same issue. Because then your accuracy might be in question. For many of you, for example, you might consider a good date because you got over. Those of us watching might say,
"What's get over?"
No.
What's get over?
No, you might have. In other words, you might have went out with a woman of questionable character, and it looks like very much a sure thing to you.
Right.
You might think that that's good, where the rest of us. So then, therefore, the accuracy involved in that
question
would be in question, right?
Well, I agree. The last date I went out on, the woman was of ill repute,
and the statistics said she should have been better. Well, let me just tell you what some of the things that were interesting that I observed. One, they asked Oklahoma linebacker Travis Lewis, right?
Right.
And he said that they don't hit, and I quote him, "We don't deserve to be number one. Put Boise State, Oregon, or someone else up there. Let us work our way up." But then also in the same article, they mentioned that in both of the polls, Vic, you have Oregon followed by Boise.
Of course.
In the BCS, Oregon followed by Boise, just they started with Oklahoma.
Right.
And the coaches, you have Oregon followed by Boise, but Oklahoma's at the end. So they put that in. They also put that in there. So, again, because the exact methodology of the BCS is always in question, the methods of how they come up with this.
Well, I agree with you. The part that makes it so interesting is that we usually look at the polls right after the game of a top team that has been defeated, not from number one, or who actually what was an upset. So the part that I look at is the BCS poll is interesting because it doesn't look back and say, well, here was Alabama for the first few weeks. Here was Ohio State first before them. And you say, okay, now they take into account that they lost. And I said, so that basically says, well, what formula was used to say we're letting you know that they're going to lose because our formula is not that accurate? No one saw Oklahoma coming as being a number one team. They saw them as a good team. They saw Oregon coming. They knew Boise State was going to play to its competition. But Oklahoma jumped over everybody. And I said that formula wasn't even looked at. And how did it get to that part?
I don't know.
Everybody missed it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you read the articles, like the comments and stuff, that's what they're always fighting about.
Right.
Is what is this methodology? Even though most of the people say they were glad that Ohio State got sort of moved out.
Yeah.
But then they go to this whole question of the validity of it. And Vic, but they debate exactly what you said. What's amazing is though, as much as at least they're seen to be in favor of the computer.
Yes.
It's interesting to read what the fans, I'm not sure the fans agree with you. I think the fans appear to not like the BCS system and to like the coaches.
I don't like the BCS system. I hate it.
You just think it's better than the coaches?
Well, the reason why I say that is that the one formula that they don't take into account, that they can't take into account, is head-to-head competition. And what I mean by that is when you have several undefeated teams and you do the best to say, well, this one is more undefeated and better than this one who's less undefeated, but they haven't lost any games and is not as good. I said, you don't realize until you go head-to-head competition. There's no formula to factor that in. So I'm not for the BCS system at all, really.
Well, maybe not for now, but here's what, maybe not for now, Vic. In other words, what's good about these statistical systems is that they tend to learn in a strange kind of way. In other words, once you do, the longer you do them and you compare where they're inaccurate,
Right.
then you're able to make adjustments
Right.
so that they tend to get better with time. So they at some point in time,
Right.
I really expect that because they'll learn which
Right.
time which parameters are inaccurate.
No,
and
I
they'll
agree.
weigh them differently.
I tell you what, I have a suggestion. Let's do this. Let's have a BCS column next to the column of their formula that predicts these teams based on the formula that who they will win and lose against in the next game. So that way we can say it's easy to
So
look
we
at
can bet against it.
Yeah, in other words, I
Let's
want to be
have
able to
them make
say,
a prediction,
yeah,
and we can bet on it,
right?
And we can maybe even apply it to Dancing with the
Dancing
Stars.
There you
or
go,
something like that, and we
Yeah.
can bet on all of it.
Yeah, let's see how
Gambling
accurate.
revenue.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
See, look, all I'm
I'm with
saying,
you.
it's easy to take the data Hey,
Afterwards,
wait,
right?
Yeah,
Let's see you predict who's
let's
gonna
predict
win.
it. If BCS is so strong,
Hey.
give me a prediction column that's on the
Even
side
though-
of your formula, and then I'll take that and weigh it with your prediction.
But Vic, even though that may not correlate, by
I know
that
that.
I mean it's interesting. The abilities to predict games may not correlate
That's okay.
with your ability to assess who's the number one.
I'm gonna give you an idea here. I watched the column, and Black Chaos, what's up, man? You know I never
I
forget
saw
you.
Chaos.
I see you out there, and he's right. Strength of schedule.
What's happening, Chaos?
We talk about it, but let me use this formula.
He's more common than Mayhem.
I like this. You're wrong. In high school, in national high school football, I love that they have what they call these ratings. One is like the Massey rating and whatever. You know what they do? They actually go out and predict the score of the next game, which makes it interesting to see how accurate it is to compare how they resulted in the next game. I love the idea that they're doing that. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm going, at least they're using that human formula. What, use the BCS to do the same thing. Predict this next team's game. I think it makes it more interesting. An argument creates more conversation. It's not perfection, but reactionary Monday night or Monday morning quarterback football, it's not going to help me. So I'm not for the BCS if they can't give me a column of prediction. It's always after the fact. Predict the next game.
Well, that's why I'm so impressed with this other human way of factoring that's come out recently in the press. For example, Duke University, the lacrosse team,
Right.
now has been actually indexed by a female who slept with the whole lacrosse team.
I knew you was going.
She has it in there now with their penis size, how well she rated them. So now, without any doubt, those people attending Duke, you can know a lot more accurately what you're going to get.
You're wrong.
Because this young lady has used the human factor.
Right.
And one thing she knows is the Duke lacrosse team.
You're wrong.
And she can, so if you have any doubts, she'll be able to tell you which player is going to get it on.
You see this.
That's why I like it.
Look at the
so that
brain
shows
in
you
my
there
head.
was no computer there, was it, Vic?
No, it wasn't.
You couldn't have got that on Facebook.
Real-time data.
You had to get that from a real female
There you go.
who did the lacrosse team at Duke. And let's go get that data.
Next subject. After that closing argument, I have already said we should free all the hostages.
Sausages. Free all the sausages.
Free them all.
We want all the sausages to run free.
Right. All right. We got to run into the next one. How, you're crazy, man. How about them big head cowboys, man? And now, I'm going to make this real simple and fast. You know where I'm going with this. Okay. Instead of going over how they won or lost, instead of getting involved in how many turnovers they had, instead of getting in how well they played defense and held the Vikings to only barely 200 yards in total offense, basically giving the game away, throwing an interception at the last stage of the game, forget all that. Everybody watched the game. We saw what we saw.
I thought the coaches were mellow and happy.
Wait, that's not helping.
I said, weren't you impressed by his calmness?
I was
the
impressed.
Coaching staff. There is no panic.
Yeah. Okay.
There is no panic.
Well, I tell you what. I got this one. Let me just say this. All right. We're going to analyze the reason why the $1.6 billion Dallas Stadium is not going to be used by the Dallas Cowboys this year as it relates to the Super Bowl.
That's okay. They'll still make their money. Jerry's going to still get his.
Right. Here's a question. And I didn't even pose this question yet. If they do not make it to the playoffs, and that happens, who is considered first to let go? Manager, president of operations, coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, or substantial players underachieving?
Nobody.
Everybody's going to be the same, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this next question. This is
It's just bad
so easy,
luck
man.
this year.
Yeah, right.
It's just bad luck.
I got you.
Jerry
You
said.
trying.
Jerry already said
It ain't
he
bad luck.
announced that he's not firing anybody to solve this.
Yeah, and that's always been.
I believe
the thing.
Jerry.
No, yeah, right. Sure you do. Jerry's kids.
They're America's team.
Okay, here it is. Which following teams have a worse record than the Dallas Cowboys? Now, I'll run off the names even though there's on the screen so you can see. St. Louis Rams, Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions, Buffalo Bills, San Francisco 49ers. Mario, which team?
San Francisco 49ers.
Okay, so it's only one team?
The Rams, I thought, have the same record. The Rams' record is not bad, so it's not them. Cleveland may have. I think Cleveland has the worst. Detroit only won one.
Nope, they won two.
They won two?
Yeah, I think they won. Actually, wait a minute, I'll get the update.
It's two.
Detroit won one game.
Okay, ooh, see, I'm not so bad.
Yeah.
And Buffalo hasn't won. They won one. They weren't. The only person who had not won a game was San Francisco, as far as I remember.
You're pretty close.
They were winless. They were the only winless to me. So Buffalo, I think, had won one.
Nope.
I think Detroit had won one. I think Cleveland had won two.
Yeah. Okay,
And the Rams have won two or three. No, the Rams won three.
You're doing good.
Okay.
But just a little bit. Cleveland won one, same as the Dallas record.
Okay.
All right. Detroit, I believe, won one.
Okay.
Buffalo and, of course, San Francisco are winless, I believe.
No, San Francisco got their first one.
They got their first win.
I thought, no, are you sure, Vic? Because I thought they were the last winless. I thought San Francisco was the last winless.
They got one.
So I thought Buffalo had won one.
Buffalo, no.
Buffalo's winless, you sure?
And Carolina. Carolina's winless, and I didn't put that one in there. That was a catch-22. I was trying to flip you.
For some reason, I thought San Francisco. Okay.
No.
Carolina's winless?
Yes.
Ooh.
They're showing zero. Now, unless this
that, when you winless.
Hey, man, I'm just saying.
Winless,
what can you
it's like
say?
when you go out to the club, you always got that friend that just can't meet nobody.
That's
Just can't meet. Just like you got with them girlfriends, no matter what. It could be, and they don't look bad or anything.
Right.
You wonder why can't they ever meet anybody? Never meet anybody. Never go. So I don't know.
You give it up.
And you know what? I just want to say hello to all my friends in Ohio. Norman, I don't know about y'all, but y'all they have college football.
Right.
In Ohio.
Right.
I'm just saying the pro teams, they don't have basketball. Look at their pro teams.
Well, I know, but I think
the Cleveland.
Well, look, the message was this: there's only two teams that are winless right now, and that's Buffalo and Carolina, and that the Dallas Cowboys only have a better record than those two teams.
Carolina's got way better beaches.
Yeah. Well, you're not helping this situation.
Okay,
right
I'm just
now.
telling you, where would you rather be for vacation, Buffalo or Carolina?
We're talking about Dallas. We're talking about Dallas.
Throw them in the mix. I'm still going to Carolina.
You go to Carolina? What part?
Hell yeah.
What part?
Somewhere on, they got beach, Vic.
Okay, you got water.
They got better food, I think.
Okay, I got you. Well, hey, Dallas, Fort Worth, big time Fort Worth airport, bigger than the city.
Well, you know what they say is one of the most livable areas in the country.
Yes, sir.
But we hating on Dallas any damn way.
No, we ain't.
I am.
I know you are.
I'm hating on them.
Okay.
All they got is fajitas.
Well, let's do this. You're wrong.
And they owe that to the Mexicans.
All I'm saying is that what's happening with Dallas is that everybody keeps doing the same thing, and they say it over and over again. What you write on paper is based on prediction, the subjective data at hand, and you go, okay, they're the best team. I said, well, then maybe all of them are not as good as you thought. And nobody ever takes that in consideration, that these players are not as good as you thought as a collective. Individually, they may be very good performers. Collectively, something's missing.
Yeah, even though I will say this, right now, at least in terms of defense, even though some are doing well statistically, there is this whole thing of no one knows how to play it anymore. I watch it too. You guys, is it just me? Maybe Black Chaos might comment too. No one knows how to tackle. They don't know how to teach.